Today we are going to hear about a project that could help Moon Township take advantage of its riverfront access while providing another recreation opportunity for outdoor enthusiasts. Moon Township is one of 8 communities that is working with the Beaver County Planning Commission to discuss the potential for a bike and pedestrian trail that would follow the southern side of the Ohio River. A feasibility study is underway to look at route alternatives for the proposed Ohio River Trail, which would connect with the Montour Trail on its eastern end and extend into Monaca. Here today to talk about the trail and how it could link up to Moon Township is project consultant Sean Garrigan and Moon Township Parks and Recreation Director Dana Kasler. I'm here with Sean Garrigan. Sean is the project consultant for the Ohio River Trail feasibility study. And I'm also here with Dana Kasler. He is the Moon Township Parks and Recreation Director. They're here today to tell us a little bit about the Ohio River Trail project and how it fits into larger goals for Moon Township as well. So to start off, Sean, do you mind telling us a little bit about the overall vision for this project?
Sure. The project was conceived of as a way to connect the various communities along the south shore of the Ohio River from Monaca to Coraopolis, and actually the existing Montour Trail, which ends actually in Moon Township at the edge of Coraopolis Borough. So the project entails basically looking at a way to create a contiguous trail that would connect those 2 points along approximately the 12-mile stretch of the south shore of the river.
Okay. And so as far as recreation opportunities for the communities that are involved, how do you think this will benefit what we already have as far as the Montour Trail and other opportunities in this general vicinity?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that we're trying to do with this project, and the first one is obviously to, at the very least, increase access to the existing trails that exist, the Montour Trail. So you don't have to drive to get to the trail and then bike. You can actually bike from your home or the center of your community to the trail itself, and then also connect to other, or have that trail be a trail unto itself that attracts people to use. And then I think the other key component is to try to kind of rethink how the communities view the riverfront itself and try to expand public access to the river's edge. Through our meetings, one of the things that we heard from the community is many people would like to have more opportunities to get to the river itself. So part of what we're trying to do is figure out ways to achieve that in light of other things that are happening along the different communities in terms of new economic development and new improvements and things along the river.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. And so I understand that Moon is one of several communities that is, collaborating to brainstorm the various routes and, various considerations that will go into this process. What other communities are involved?
There's 8 individual municipalities, Coraopolis, Moon Township, Crescent Township, South Heights Borough, Hopewell Township, City of Aliquippa, Center Township, and Monaca Borough. And then we're actually working primarily with Beaver County, who is the lead on the project, but also Allegheny County as well is involved.
Okay. And so you mentioned the meetings that you're having throughout this process. Are you looking for resident input? Are you looking for ideas from the public, or kind of bouncing ideas off?
Yes, we've had a series of meetings, public open house type meetings, where we've presented ideas and actually provided the opportunity for the community to ask questions and comment on the various things that we've presented. So far, at this point, we're pulling together the overall strategy plan for the project, and then the intention is, once that document is prepared and the ideas are formulated, that the information will be taken out to the public through various venues to get more input, and then hopefully move the project further into fruition.
Okay. So the Planning Committee actually visited Moon Township last month for a public meeting, and there's an open house presenting the different alternatives for our area. Can you tell us a little bit about what a trail might look like in Moon Township, what the trail segment would look like?
Well, looking at the overall corridor that we've been studying, Moon Township is fortunate it has some of the nicest stretches of the river within its municipal boundaries. So we're actually working with various representatives of the township to figure out opportunities to connect essentially the area that the township owns some land near Thorn Run Road and the ambulance squad down off of Route 51 along the river in the vicinity of where the Army Corps of Engineers has its lock facility, and then actually to another park that's located on the river in Crescent Township, potentially creating almost 2 miles of public access along the riverfront in a very attractive area of the river.
Right. So, Dana, can you tell us a little bit about how this might fit in with Moon Township's goals for parks and recreation and different leisure opportunities?
Sure, Megan. As Sean stated, we have some lovely waterfront along Moon, and several years ago the old RB&W plant was purchased by the Moon Township Municipal Authority. At that time, I think their board had a vision that it would future become a park property. For the last couple of years, we've slowly moved into that process of making that happen. We currently have a grant application out to do a planning grant to develop a waterfront park. And how this obviously associates with this project is it would be intertwined with that trail. We hope it would create things like an access point, river access, things that have been identified in their project as what people want and need. And because of that access to University Boulevard that goes over to Business 60 or 376 corridor, I should say, it offers some great advantage of bringing people that may not have access to the river in their community an opportunity to do that in Moon. So, we feel like it's a great project just because to have a waterfront park is great, but to have this connectivity to the Montour Trail, to the Crescent Park, and continuing all the way out to Monaca, obviously is a unique project, and hopefully Moon can be one of those hubs for this trail project.
Right, absolutely. So I can see what you're saying about making this a really attractive project as it follows the Ohio River. And is the goal to keep the trail as close as possible to the river's edge, or is it going to...
Ideally, if the trail could literally be on the river, that would, right on the river's edge, that would be the best scenario. But in some cases, that's not feasible. So we take that into consideration as we're looking at various alternatives. I think the important thing to point out is that, the Ohio River itself is obviously a major regional resource, and there are a lot of other efforts in other communities in both counties looking at ultimately a corridor that would connect from basically the south side of Pittsburgh all the way to the Ohio state line along the river. So all the residents in Moon Township conceivably would be able to bike to this trail or get to this trail and then bike for a long distance in many different directions.
Right. And Dana, as I'm sure you can attest, as the weather warms up, we can already see many residents biking along township roads. You can see people out and about. Do you think there's a demand there for this among residents in these communities?
I know there is in Moon through the various studies we've done, as we've done for people's different activities. And remember, it's bikers, it's walkers, it's hikers. Right. Obviously, their design of the trail, I think, they've brought some great alternatives to sizing and things that way in certain communities or certain places to make sure that it's two-way traffic, and there's some things to go through that. But I'm sure Sean can tell you more about the other communities, but I would imagine the demand is very similar.
Yeah, I think that what we're finding in our work throughout Pennsylvania and other states as well is that trails and biking facilities attract probably the largest demographic of users of any recreation type facility you can basically create, as well as it potentially can serve as a transportation resource for people just to get around their community and not necessarily have to drive a car for every trip. So.
Right. Makes a lot of sense. And I guess, Sean, to go back a little bit, can you tell us what is making this process possible and how long the planning has been going on for this?
Well, the project was primarily led by the Ohio River Trail Council organization, which is a core group that's been very interested in seeing this trail happen. So they spearheaded an effort to obtain some funding, including primarily a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, which was actually awarded through the city of Aliquippa and Beaver County. And then the Ohio River Trail Council formed the cooperative agreement with all the other municipalities to undertake the project. So we've been retained to do this study since approximately December of 2009, with the goal of completing this first phase in the next month and a half or so, 2 months. And then the intent is to identify the priorities and the projects out of the plan that can be proceeded with additional funding to be implemented.
Okay, great. And Dana, just to go back to the Riverfront Park and the different opportunities that it would offer in Moon Township. You know, we have Moon Park with the fields and all of the great recreation opportunities there. We have Olson Park to look forward to, some really great wooded space. And, you know, we have Robin Hill Park, all the activities and trails over there. What do you think this will add for Moon Township residents?
Well, you know, obviously, I don't want to state the obvious, but I think having a riverfront access park is great. Obviously, the views. I think too why, you know, we will be focusing on leisure activities that are more passive in nature. You know, which we do have at Robin Hill. It'll be different. You know, Robin Hill's in a great historic facility and park facility, but it is mostly wooded. Whereas this mostly is going to be open. But, you know, so trail access with benches and places to, you know, go down by the river and eat lunch or read a book. I think it could be as simple as that. All the way up to, you know, having boat access point that we've discussed. So it would offer something new that we just, recreation opportunities we don't offer.
Right. It seems like it would be a really nice way to, you know, round out the different opportunities in Moon Township. So
right. That's what our hope is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this project seems very exciting, and I guess if there's anything else you had to add, what residents might have to look forward to on the planning front.
I would say if anybody's interested, certainly contact Dana. He's very involved with the project, and we can provide additional information through the township if anyone's interested in getting involved.
Great. Well, thank you, Sean. Dana, thanks so much for taking the time to come out today.
Thank you.